I wanted to have a song that would play at the end when it was time to sum up what we had learned. You know, very similar to the end of any kid's show like Mr. Rogers or Captain Kangaroo, when it's, you know, it's the time to say goodbye song.
We were driving on the way to church, and we came up with this melody.
And we were harmonizing on it. It's like, this is great. But we had to go through a whole church service. And of course, in the church service, they're going to play songs which will knock whatever song you have in your head completely out.
He said, Lisa, you have to sing this song all through church and remember it so we can run home and we can play it on the piano or we're going to lose it. And I thought, okay. And we walked into church, and the whole service, and even, you know, the worship songs, and and I felt horrible. I had to do it. And so we raced home and sat down at the piano and plunked it out and wrote the What Have We Learned song.
Which has terrorized Bob ever since.
We just kind of layered it all together and listened to it, and it sounded pretty good, but it was really missing something. And I think we sent Phil into the booth to maybe do a low bass part or something, just try to come up with anything. And he went in there, and of course, because it's in a cinder block cellar, there's no window, we can't see what's happening. And we start hearing this percussive sound that was making the whole song work. And so we opened, what are you doing in there? And he's like, I'm playing my cheeks.
That kind of stuff. And that's the percussion in the song, is me playing my cheeks.
As Kurt and I were working on the music for that, you know, I wanted this you know, sound, and Kurt was trying to come up with something for it musically, and I wasn't really happy with anything that he came up with. And finally he just said, well, why don't you just do that into the microphone and we'll affect it? And so it's like, sure, okay. So I went into the microphone, and then he processed that, and that's what's in the song of me, you know, doing that. And I remember also saying, oh, you know, I want something, you know, kind of really crisp on the high end, and like these, you know, like this. And Kurt has like these little instruments laying all over his office, you know, and he just collects millions of instruments, and he had these little finger cymbals. And I said, like, you know, like this, and you know, had these finger cymbals together. So then he took those and added those into the track. So he had this really high end, you know, crisp finger cymbal things going with me going. So that was my addition to the music. At the very beginning, Larry is there in a bear trap, you know. And actually, the original version of Cheeseburger Song, he was actually, you know, we actually had a couple of verses in there of Larry, you know, singing some kind of song with the bear trap. I've forgotten what it is by now, but just for timing, you know, reasons, we cut it out at the end. But, you know, so that's the unfinished bear trap silly song.
So much of the glue that holds a score together is based on the themes. You've heard them in every movie you've gone to, in every TV show you've watched. There's a theme there. You may not even realize it. But it captures the essence of that. It's either a show or a character or a scene. So oftentimes, as we begin a show, we'll talk about, okay, what are the themes that we need? Okay, this character is doing something, and it happens a couple times in the show, and that's important to the story. Let's have a theme that reflects that. If Larry is a hero in the show, let's come up with a heroic theme. Maybe it's in a French horn or a trumpet. Dum-da-dum, dum-da-dum. All of a sudden, oh, he must be heroic because I'm hearing heroic music. But if Bob's sneaking around, okay, we need some sneaking around music. Pizzicato strings going dun-da-da-da-da-da-da, bum, 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 bum. So we'll start out with a basic theme. Let's say Larry's heroic theme, bum-ba-bum, bum-ba-bum. But now maybe he's gotten into a trouble spot. So let's make it minor and soften it up a little bit. Bum-ba-bum, bum-ba-bum, bum-ba-dum, bum-bum-bum-bum. Bring in a question there. What's going to happen next? So we can even work with our main themes, but as we turn them around with tempo, dynamics, how loud or soft they are, and what instruments are playing them, we can all of a sudden switch that theme and communicate just the opposite, but it's still reminiscent of the original theme.